Hello and greetings. Today this is a workshop on basic metamorphosis techniques with 3 techniques to help you perform mental metamorphosis. So you can perceive these as 3 different models to work with, and you can be creative and create your own system. So what is mental metamorphosis? So dictionary.com has several different definitions. First, biology, a profound change in form from one stage to the next stage in the life history of an organism, as from the caterpillar to the pupa, and from the pupa to the adult butterfly. Second, a complete change of form, structure, or substance as transformation by magic or witchcraft. And third, any complete change in appearance, character, circumstances, etc. However, in magic, we look at it as a willed reconstruction of the mind. Reconstruction of beliefs, ideas, values, moral behaviors, all of these are being morphed and reconstructed. This is what creates our personality. This is how we identify with who we are or who the other is. So normally we are on a linear path with our beliefs, with our ideas, values, morals, behaviors. Especially in this day and age with United States politics, there's a lot of concentration on races, and different events can completely change and reconstruct people's beliefs. So here in Magick, we want to actively and practically do this. So deep reconstruction of the self unlocks unlimited possibilities. You may believe and behave in whatever way works best for you, and that's really the goal. We're trying to perform practical magic, but also because we may travel, we may switch environments, we really have to be aware of what works best for us. You may be in an environment that has a lot of people who are into what you're practicing, so that might be a great time to involve yourself in certain communities, because you might move in a few years and be in a completely different community and different environment. So before we undergo metamorphosis, we need to understand the nature of duality. So our nature, our universe is based on dualities, and there doesn't need to be a competition between these dualities, good and bad. Buddha said and talked a lot about the middle way of the reality of things. And with any duality, good or bad, there's always a middle way. So in magic, we want to achieve what we want, but we're not just acting chaotically. We're not just completely acting with free will, because we acknowledge, the prize and the consequence. So every belief has a counter, and every desire has a misfire. So you really need to act smartly with whatever you try and manifest. So the first model with metamorphosis we have here is laughter versus laughter. So laughter is a common behavior, and a happy, positive emotion is attached to it. So the conventional idea is to laugh at what is funny and not what is grim, frightful, or negative. Even though there are genres such as dark humor or black comedy, which comes from, a more grim side of comedy. But here in Magick, with this model, this will break the conventional mind as you start to laugh at what is mundane, meaningless, repulsive, or distasteful. And a good way to start this off is by practicing with subjects and things that don't really disrupt society. So just mundane things that you may bump around. Maybe try with certain videos in your own private abode. So this is a simple technique for deconditioning more complex conventional ideas, such as anger management or a lot of social issues. It's a very interesting way at dissecting the mind and going for a more neutral result instead of trying to always get what is preferred. Another way to use this model is by breaking the conventional idea in your mind for what tastes good and what tastes bad. Or taking cold showers, but trying not to focus on the fact that it's cold. You're just trying to really break the conventional mind, because this is important in magic, because there's so much that's obscene and random and strange along your path. So these are ways to really break the ice in your mind. The next model we have is non-attachment and non-disinterest. So humans are naturally attached to things, and we naturally create reason for everything we interact with. So in this common day, this can create a lot of mental blocking and suffering, which will definitely weaken and dampen your magical abilities. So this model is a great way because it allows you to act without the lust of your results, the lust of desire. Especially like with sigil work, you try and forget the desire after you've created the sigil or the symbol. So attachment and aversion must be controlled, because attachment and aversion go hand in hand. Just because you've completely detached from everything, that could also mean you're averting a lot of things. So we're trying to find the middle way. So attachment and aversion to personality, ego, self, relationships, and experiences, all of these can really get in the way. And everyone has their own personal connection to all of these things. So that's why it's great to work on these in your own way. So do not completely ignore these things, but just try and understand them from a neutral perspective. You may be an incredibly talented athlete, but just take that as it is. Don't let it get to your head and have you separate yourself from others, or don't make it seem like you can't also teach a brand new generation with the sport you're in. Like try and just neutrally be in whatever you are, especially with relationships as well. Attachment to relationships is extremely easy, and the main goal is to not disconnect yourself from this reality in a way that you can't even become a magician. So the third model we have here, which is probably one of the most practical ones you can do today, habit reformation. So we all have habits, and it's important to acknowledge the habits you have and take control of them before they take control of you. And habits also just is a lot of excessive neural activity that goes on. So really, when you're controlling negative habits, you're also getting deep into the neural activity, which can only benefit you as a magician in the future if you take control of that. So it's natural to have habits, whether they're good or bad. So habits form our personality, but as magicians, we want to alter that on our own terms. So these habits, like a lot of us have, whether it's nail biting or scratching your head or saying certain words, they put us on autopilot. So if we're trying to be extremely conscious with our magic, and we have all these habits going on, we can only be weakened. So some habits are purely destructive and need to be swapped out. Even habits such as taking a drink after work, or smoking a cigarette whenever you're stressed out. These habits can really be destructive. So select a minor habit such as nail biting, and then completely delete it from your behavior. And number 3, which is most important, because a lot of people try and quit cold turkey with a lot of their habits, you must replace this habit with a new one, a neutral, simple habit that you can make sure is 100% fail-proof. So you have technically completely swapped out the habit instead of trying to replace alcoholism, with an extremely nutritional and detoxing diet. You know, like that diet can come afterwards, but that's an extremely hard habit to trade from because there's a chance you might fail and you might just dip right back into alcoholism. So it's important to make this habit, if you can, non-spiritual, not attached to your ego, nothing personal. For example, some easy habits such as hand stretching, finger tapping, finger snapping, mudras, trim nails with your nail clippers, all of these could be a positive replacement to just biting your nails. So every time I think I'm about to bite my nails, I just do something positive, and soon that habit will be completely deleted and replaced. So making it fail-proof ensures a successful habit removal, and just start slowly. So there are 3 models for you to work with, and it's important to write down all changes and progression into your magical diary or your magical journal, and give it a try. Anything can really happen with metamorphosis. That's the important thing. You might be on a certain path or practice for years and might have even forgot that you were a magician. So take it at your own discretion. For me personally, I'm kind of on an ongoing process with metamorphosis, and currently I've dove into Buddhism to kind of retouch and work on certain different aspects on my magical path. Like there's a lot of things from Buddhism which are helping me right now incredibly with especially chaos magic, just ways to calm myself, mindfulness, just a lot of different ways to reconstruct the inner self. And once again, without attachment, I'm just taking it in as what it is. And it's amazing how much information can truly come to you and then become wisdom once you implement it with metamorphosis. And you can be on a path for a day, a few weeks, but all that matters is if you utilize each belief system or practice you dive into 100%. So just be 100% with it, be 100% honest, be in the middle way, nothing's good or bad. And yeah, just think about the end positive results.